Title versus title, champion versus champion, unification matches set for WrestleMania 38. And today we are getting reports that there's a new championship title belt coming after WrestleMania. Is it true? We're going to jump into that. Plus, an update on Triple H's health condition, and will he be making an in-ring return? Speaking of in-ring returns, Natalya is currently teasing and sparking a bunch of rumors about a possible WWE comeback for Paige. Is that going to happen? We don't know, but we're going to dive into this and more in today's top story. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! What's up, everyone? It's Monday afternoon, 6:30 p.m. Thank you for joining us. It's the top story here on Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm Jose G, and with me, my compadre, Jeremy Bennett. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us. We got a lot to jump into today. We got stories about a new title belt. We got Triple H in the news. We got Paige in the news. So there's a lot to talk about, and that's because we didn't consider all the other 10 stories that we talked about earlier today, because there's so much news coming down the pipeline. But we appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us. We got a lot to talk about. Make sure you're engaging with the show. Like, share, and subscribe. So make sure you go ahead and do that right now. Also, head on over to our YouTube and smash the notification bell so that way you never miss whenever we go live. Jeremy, so we got this story today. We started talking about this about a week ago once we found out about the unification match, and we were talking to ourselves, well, are they going to unify the titles? And it looks like the reports by Uncle Dave, it looks like that might be the case. Is that right?
Wait, I don't know. It's very interesting right now. Dave could not be right. It's possible. WWE could be misusing words too. It's hard to tell right now because WWE really hasn't come out and officially said this, but yet it said unification all of a sudden, which sparked some debate. And
because it was first champion, it was first title versus title, then it was champion versus champion, and now it was title unification.
Yeah. So Dave says that the WWE has plans for a new world championship, which will be a unified belt, similar to what Jericho had when he won the undisputed world championship, when he had that triple threat match against, I believe it was Rock and Stone Cold, if I wasn't not mistaken, right? So he said the deal here's his quote. The deal here is that it is a unification match, and from what I'm told, it's the same idea as last time they unified the titles. Remember, like 20 years ago, 18 years ago, then a week later they just handed a belt to Triple H. I was told that is not feasible in the modern environment to not have each brand, given the two networks, have a champion. So this will be a unification match, and they will not forget about it. There will be two champions, which even adds more to this. It's like, so you're going to unify two established belts and then create another world title on top of it? I don't know what they're getting at here.
But here's the thing too, like if you are going to dissolve one of these belts, you don't want to dissolve the one with the most history, right? No. Because the WWE title has over 50 years worth of history, going all the way back to the WWF from Vince Sr., Pedro Morales, Bruno Sammartino, those, the legends, the OGs, those are the guys that hold that lineage on that WWE World Championship. The Universal title is very, very new, was brought into the scene back in 2016, with Finn Balor being the first champion. So even though they put a whole lot of more prominence behind this Universal title over the last year and a half with Roman Reigns holding it for this long, it makes you wonder, are they going to retire the world title and focus on an undisputed Universal title as opposed to a world title?
I don't know. Or the other thing is it just combines into the WWE Championship, and maybe obviously, the Universal title was named after Universal because that's where all their programming was at the time. Now that Fox is involved, maybe they are
the Fox title.
Yeah, the Fox title. But maybe they're just getting away from naming it after the company Universal. Maybe they're going to come out with a different belt that is not named after a network. So that could be possible now that Fox is in the fold, because when the Universal title was created, Fox was not in the fold. So that could be a reason too, where they unify the belts, and that new WWE Unified Champions on SmackDown, and they create a new world title, which could just be similar to the situation when they had the WCW gold belt. I don't know. It's all up in the air at this point.
It
Hell,
really is.
it may not matter. Roman
It may not even happen at all.
Roman might come in and screw Lesnar at Madison Square Garden, and Bobby Lashley's your new champion. So this just
Bobby Lashley's not competing at Madison Square Garden.
That's right. Lashley's
he's out on injury, so I don't know whoever is going to be facing him at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep saying Lashley. I keep getting thrown off that they're still kayfabing that for some reason. So yeah, whoever. So maybe Roman screws Brock in Madison Square Garden, and it doesn't even matter. To me, it just sounds like the way Dave explained this is just completely screwing up title lineage, and it's unnecessary and doesn't really need to happen. But unless they're trying to appease Fox and change the name of the Universal title by getting rid of it and making a new one, I don't know. It just sounds weird to me.
It's very interesting how this is all going to develop. We're still about 5 weeks away from WrestleMania. Sound off in the comments. Let us know if you guys are in favor or against the unifying these titles and getting one undisputed title of either the Universal or the WWE title. Or what would you guys call it? Would you call it the Galactic title, or I don't know, man. It gets ridiculous at this point, but it'll certainly be interesting as we move an inch closer to WrestleMania. Speaking about WrestleMania, we are going to be in Dallas at Sportskeeda Wrestling, so make sure you guys set all your notifications to see first, because we're going to be dropping a lot of content ahead of WrestleMania and during WrestleMania weekend. So make sure you guys do that. Let's jump into our second story here, Jeremy. We got Paul Levesque. Triple H is in the news today. If you guys know, a few months ago, Triple H suffered a cardiac event. We don't know. We're calling it a cardiac event because we don't know if it was a heart attack or some type of other heart issue. But a few months ago, he was hospitalized, had surgery for a cardiac event that he had. He's back on his feet. He's working. But a lot of fans out there are asking, are we going to see Triple H back in the ring? And according to a report today from good old Uncle Dave, it looks like that might not be the case.
Yeah, recent edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez were discussing. Alvarez had wondered if WWE would bring Triple H back for WrestleMania 38. Obviously, there is talk of, for some god-awful reason, Pat McAfee taking on Vince McMahon at WrestleMania, which then may kayfabe into Triple H replacing him, maybe even Shane replacing him, or Austin Theory. Honestly, again, my original idea from last week, put Corey Graves in there and have the two color commentators from each brand go at it. We've had the report from last week that even got expanded on more, that Graves is cleared to wrestle. I think Graves and McAfee would be tremendous in the buildup and in the match itself. Graves was a good wrestler. If you don't remember, go back and watch the WWE Network. He had a great tag team with Neville. They won the tag championships.
Yeah.
He was a great heel on NXT. And a lot of people obviously don't remember that, because literally he had to retire and then announce that he actually got hired as an announcer on literally the second or third NXT takeover that ever aired on the WWE Network. But now Alvarez was wondering, well, what if you fill Triple H in there to take on McAfee? And Dave said, no, Triple H would be a terrible idea. His heart situation, he can't. I don't want to say never, because that's unfair, because maybe he can do something, but that would be a horrible idea for him. That's not going to happen this year. There's no way. I don't know. Like I said, Lawler,
sounds like pure speculation on Uncle Dave's side, right? But
yeah, I mean Lawler literally was declared dead on Monday Night Raw, and he has wrestled several times since then.
Yes, exactly.
And he is older than Triple H by a good 20 years. So
yes, absolutely. I don't see it happening this year, but maybe down the line, after a few years of rehab and recuperating from that situation. But It'll be awesome. And just imagine the pop that he will get when he comes back into the ring. People are going to lose their mind left and right.
Yeah, it's going to be like it's going to be like when he returned from that quad injury 9 months later and was a babyface for like the first time. Almost, it might have been first time ever in WWE was because of that pop, and they just made him a babyface because the crowd was so excited to have him back. But again, I am groaning at what might be set up on this Pat McAfee show for Thursday.
Yeah, let's jump into that really quick because that news kind of came a little bit after we went off air on Friday afternoon, and it's just mind-boggling that people are already assuming that Pat McAfee and Vince McMahon are going to have a match at WrestleMania 38. They're already speculating that this match is good, that this interview that Pat McAfee has with Vince McMahon in the next, I think this Thursday, is going to lead into an angle and then going at it at WrestleMania. I, for one, don't really see that happening, but I could be wrong. I mean, when Adam Cole went into the show, that was an angle to set up that feud. But I don't know, man. I don't even. When I saw that, I was like, get the hell out of here. Kevin, you want to chime in on this? Your microphone. Your mic ain't working.
So, I mean, Vince is, he could barely, he's having trouble talking. You could barely understand him talking, you know. That might be from years of saying, shut up! But there is no way, I just don't think he is in a physical capacity to compete in the ring anymore.
I may have to disagree with you, Jeremy, because have you seen how jacked Vince McMahon is at 70 plus years old that he is? That guy can beat the three of us put together in one sitting, bro.
But I'm absolutely not excited for a Vince McMahon match anymore. I don't need it. I
do agree with. I don't think we need to see Vince McMahon.
And plus, it's like, what are they gonna do to? I don't know. It's just like out of the blue, and it makes no sense. And I don't know.
Let's see if we got Kevin's mic back on. Are you back on, Kevin?
Sorry about that, guys. I had to update my whole computer before we started today, and it took way too long.
Yeah, and there he goes again.
What did I do? What did I do? There we go. No, I don't think it's a full-on match. I think it's something else. I think maybe you have an Austin Theory serve as his substitute. Maybe this is where you bring Shane McMahon back. That's my wild inclusion. Something crazy here.
I say have Corey Graves step up, and now that he's cleared, and
that would be cool if you had commentator versus commentator.
Yeah,
and that
plus
would be
the promos. The promos between those two would be gold, and you know it would be I think it'd be a lot. That'd be a lot more fun than having an Austin Theory or a Shane McMahon match by far. If you put Corey Graves in that situation,
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, here's the crazy part. No one's questioning McAfee in this. Like no one's.
We know McAfee can go.
Yeah,
we know McAfee can go.
He had good matches with Adam Cole.
Yeah, and exactly. But if you would have told me that a couple of years ago, I'd be like, "Oh, he's a personality." But I mean, you know. And the thing is, he's so proven that we knew WWE was going to cash this card at some point. That he's such an over personality. That he was such an immediate hit with the WWE fans. A majority of fans love him, and he fit in like a glove into the WWE broadcast world, which is not the case with everyone when they get put in that position. This guy rolled with it.
Well, and then you go all the way back to NXT. I mean, and they made it real because you had Triple H and Shawn come out like, "What are you doing, man?" You know, and the whole story they had with that in NXT was tremendous. And then the match they had was stupendous. Let's just use that word again since we're overusing that word on the road to WrestleMania. You know, so and then of course, as Kev mentioned, he's knocking it out of the park on commentary. I think a him and Graves would be a perfect way to get Graves back in the ring, and it would be the build would be tremendous. The promos would be great. You know, let's just make it happen, man.
It would be Kevin,
wild. Kevin, earlier in the show before you came in, we were talking about the new unified title that's reportedly going to be coming out after WrestleMania. This is
confusing.
So we were talking about this, and I asked the viewers to put in, well, like, what would you guys call it? And I've seen a couple of funny ones in here. I've seen the Solar System title, Big Bang Championship,
The Uranus.
The WWE Milky Way heavyweight title. So
Oh, that'll piss off Snickers. Wait, are they both Mars properties? That may not piss off Snickers.
They both are Mars properties.
I think Snickers is again. I think they are the sponsor of WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken.
Jeff Samuel on YouTube watching this. Jeremy, Kevin, Jose, did you hear about Corey Graves' announcement that we got a big surprise for Mania? He don't want to talk about it, but you saw the report. I did. I actually reported on that today, that Corey Graves on the podcast, he kind of teased and alluded to, he didn't name any names, didn't say anyone, but some big teases during his podcast, and he hopes that it's accurate. But I did see that, Jeff. Yes,
and that's why I said let's just have the if we're setting something up with McAfee and Vince, have Corey step up and defend Vince if they are going that route on Thursday.
The thing is, I think Vince gets in the ring and it gets physical.
Vince always gets physical. He's gotten physical with KO. He's gotten physical with AJ. He's gotten physical with Roman Reigns.
Say what, he's 76. You know,
it's been a while since the KO thing.
I know, but it's still.
That was like 3 or 4 years ago. He could still get a headbutt.
I don't know, but it's just jarring. You know what I mean? The more he does it, the more.
I think you guys are underestimating Vince McMahon.
I know I'm underestimating, but to me, it's.
Do you hear him talk though when he's doing promos with Austin Theory? It's like he could barely speak.
Well, I'm also like, let the man age. I think he's allowed to age. I think that's unreasonable to say this guy can't age, and all these different things. Yeah, his voice is a little gruff. But his voice was always like that. And you were right, Jeremy. He's been yelling for the last 40 years.
Shut up!
But plus, he was a broadcaster. What about over? And all that stuff. You put
what about over?
Yeah. It'll be interesting. And the thing is, though, I know people are like, this is such a crazy idea. I don't like it. But if you want to add a wild attraction to WrestleMania.
What, the 76-year-old man is up against a 42-year-old man, an ex-football player? What?
And also, this is a character that people still care about. People still care about when Vince is out there. When Vince is out there.
One thing I've come to the conclusion that people will bitch and complain about the card or about the rumor all the way up until WrestleMania, right? But then when they see the actual match, oh, that was such an awesome matchup. For a 76-year-old guy, he put on a 4-star match. It's like, stop being hypocrites. Give the guy a chance. Don't underestimate him. He is Vince McMahon, and he will do. Listen, one thing that Vince McMahon has always said, I will never do anything that you guys wouldn't do,
and it will be a spectacle.
He did the trust fall that Gronk was afraid to do in the Performance Center when WrestleMania was.
I'll show you how it's done.
I just have no desire to see it. I have no desire.
So you're in the take of you just don't need to see Vince get in the ring and do anything.
No.
There's
a lot better options. If we're going to have something start from here, there's a lot better options. Austin Theory is a better option to step up and take on Pat.
Well, it could go back to what you both said, which is, bring back Shane McMahon to face Pat McAfee, kind of to defend his father. I mean, that would be cool. I don't know. But Austin Theory also makes sense, but it's certainly interesting. I mean,
it's weird how all of a sudden
it's true.
It's weird how all of a sudden McAfee's got a match at Mania.
But also, and another problem in that situation for me is that McAfee has only wrestled twice. And mind you, both times they were absolutely fantastic. But both times he was in there with ring generals. One of the times he was in there with multiple people. And punishment could be limited on him. You could hide him. You could do smoke and mirrors with McAfee, who comes in with incredible athletic acumen, one of the greatest punters in the history of the NFL, all these different things, and a great body. With Vince, you need another person like that. You need someone else who can do different things to hide him. This will be a highly, highly produced match. There won't be anything calling this on the guff or anything like that. If you're getting physical with Vince McMahon, the chairman of this publicly traded company, who's 76 years old, every part of this is going to be calculated, move for move.
It's going to be Bad Bunny versus Vince McMahon. That's what we're going to see. The man's going to take that bunny destroyer.
Isn't he busy though?
Yeah, he is. He's got
a big stadium. Yeah,
he's got a concert in Miami that night.
Yeah, it's got a big stadium tour. Yeah,
Guys, it is award season, so we are full swing right now in our Sportskeeda Wrestling Awards. So make sure you go ahead and get your votes in. We got tons of personalities and celebrities who have already sounded off and chimed in on their picks of their wrestlers of the year, their female wrestlers of the year, their feuds of the year. And it's your chance to get your voice heard. Make sure you head over to sportskeeda.com/wrestling-awards to get your votes in. The polls are still open for a few more weeks. We have 30,000 plus votes right now. That is thanks to all of you guys. We love you and thank you so much for the support. And if you guys are just wondering who and what celebrities have partaken in the wrestling awards, we got Kevin on the voiceover on this next video.
It's time for the Sportskeeda Wrestling Awards. Vote alongside these legends who I think are ready to give us their picks.
All right, suckers, give me your pick for Sportskeeda's Wrestling Awards Male Wrestler of the Year. Vince Russo, you go first.
Male wrestler? Roman Reigns, bro. Acknowledge him, bro.
Bryan Danielson, baby. He had the best deal, no doubt. Dude, it should be Kenny Omega. He's one of a kind, just like me.
Okay, guys, forget the men. The female wrestler of the year has got to be DMD. Dr. Britt Baker, come on.
Big Time Beck deserves it after her big time comeback.
Speaking of comebacks, Brock Lesnar is back on top.
CM Punk had the best comeback, no doubt. Bang!
Yes, but MJF has him on the ropes. You know it, and they know it too.
You know, MJF is so good, you can't turn the channel.
No moment last year was bigger than
Rob Van Dam entering the Hall of Fame.
You kidding me, right?
Yeah.
Better and better.
Come on, man.
He doesn't know when to have
Trying to get some work done here.
You have to make up your mind quickly. We don't have much time.
Tell me he did not just say that.
Well, we have heard from the legends, and now it's time to hear from you. Go vote now. Sportskeeda.com/wrestling-awards and vote to win exciting prizes.
Don't forget those fives in the chat if you want to see Kev get axe kicked by Booker T. Give me the fives in the chat.
Stop it. No fives.
Fives in the chat.
No, we're not setting up anything where me.
Listen, you pissed off Booker T. That's on you, bro.
I did not. You guys have implanted this. I did never at any point did I ever say I wanted a spinneroonie and an axe kick to the back of my very precious baby soft head. I don't know.
So it appears possibly the Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestling appearance at WrestleMania may be falling through. JBL has posted a video in response to Kevin Owens now that has been reported by PW Insider. That'll be a huge letdown if it's not Austin and Owens anymore. Which now makes me think you should just put the tag titles on Owens and Rollins all the way through Mania.
It's a foregone conclusion.
If the Austin thing is not coming through, put the titles on them and have them defend the tag titles. Or
it's a big old swerve.
I hope so.
Big old swerve. I hope so too. I want to be surprised
because I want to see. I want to see KO whoop JBL's ass if that's the case. So.
Guys, we have a developing story here. We have Natalya that's been starting to spark some rumors about a possible WWE comeback for Paige. What's the scoop here, Jeremy?
Natalya was on Instagram to respond to a post by Paige recently, and she said she talked about how on her comment it was one of my favorite of all time to wrestle. Can't wait to do it again. Of course, this is now leading to speculation that Paige is going to be coming back into the squared circle. Of course, forced to retire after a neck injury in December of 2017. Has been several teases recently. And of course, the resurgence of wrestlers like Daniel Bryan and Edge have also kind of, that was kind of the catalyst of Corey Graves getting checked out to see if he could be cleared to wrestle again. And so Paige has been teasing that, And so this is just kind of another chapter in that story of, is Paige coming back to the ring or not? Interesting fact, though, even though she's still with the company, not on the WWE 2K22 roster.
True. I think if she was on that roster, they'd be a little bit more telling. But she been involved in any of the games since she got out of the ring? I think she's been involved in at least one or two of the games, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to go back and look to make sure, but I didn't get 20, and I played 19 kind of sparingly. They're kind of been going downhill constantly for a while, and until
hearing good things about the new game. But we'll wait and see. With Paige, this is something that's been going on for months and months and months. They've been teasing this for a while, at least since Edge came back. There was she kind of put it out there that was inspirational, and it's something she said she wants to do, but can she get cleared to do it? It's a totally different thing. Also, another thing, it isn't just that she went down on the shelf with this injury once. She when it went down the second time, all right, this is bad, and she had a surgery on it before that, and she had probably had surgeries on it since, or at least some type of treatment of it. Mm-hmm. It's pretty serious. It is a neck injury. Not everyone's neck is the same. It's a very, very, very specific and delicate injury. We were talking about her being a pop-up person at the Royal Rumble and what that reaction would have been like.
She really literally just tweeted too. Yo, at WWE Games, where TF am I? And if you don't know what TF stands for, Google it.
Steve Chambers here commenting on Facebook. Be awesome to see Paige, but wonder about when Asuka, Bayley, and Lacey Evans are coming back.
Fair questions. Staying on top gear though with Paige. The pop would be huge if she came back. It would be massive. And I also think there'd be a real kick in the pants for the UK crowd, which is very, very loyal to her, really likes her, and it's a big audience for WWE. Paul Kokonski with the question. A side question. WWE announced they were not selling their DVDs in the United States anymore, starting at the beginning of 2022, but just picked up a day one this past Tuesday. I heard mixed reports about that. I know you can still go to Walmart in major retailers and get it. I'm not sure if that's exactly clear in the sense of specific online retailers. I know I've seen those DVDs at a Walmart. I was in one around Royal Rumble time. I saw DVDs in there, but they weren't any new ones. It's odd that you bring that up. I did hear about that, but I've heard much less presence of WWE DVD retail presence, and I guess things have been going in that way for years in terms of making that full transfer to digital. Right now, physical media becomes the collector item thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't even know where all my VCR tapes are. For you guys, that's a big old tape that has film in it. You stick it in a big machine and it plays video. That's the
tape?
old school stuff. Yeah, it's a big ass tape.
I
used to have a collection of all of them.
You used to have a separate machine to rewind your tapes.
You had to have a separate machine to rewind it.
You would have a set. You would buy one so then you could watch another tape while that's rewinding. So then you wouldn't have to wait for that tape to rewind.
Oh, you can't wait those 4 minutes.
No. That's why they sold the rewinders by themselves.
You want to watch the tape? We get it rewinded, don't you? You need to buy the rewinder.
Be kind. You got to be kind and rewind.
Oh my god! I used to hate when they used to charge you for not rewinding.
Oh, ridiculous! God. All right, so we've lost everyone under the age of 30 in the room. So there we go.
He's like, well, VHSs, Betamaxes, what is that?
I was so when I was a kid, we wouldn't get the pay-per-view, so I would watch WWE on this delayed loop because you would get. Jeremy may know this, and you definitely may know this. You would get the pay-per-view would come out. And then it would be at Blockbuster or video rental stores within a week and a half or 2 weeks, which is still really, really cool. But by that point, it was I would just wait. I would just wait to watch WWE when I was a little kid. And then I'd be like, oh, we're going to Blockbuster on Friday. I would literally write it into a calendar. So I would get everything on a loop, like 2 weeks afterwards. So during those 2 weeks, I would really lay into comic books or something else that wasn't my homework as a child to fend me over. And I remember one time I had Wrestlemania spoiled for me when I was 8. And I was like, shut up. I'm waiting 2 weeks for it to be a Blockbuster.
It's the old Coliseum home video deal that would come out there.
David Barkley watching us on YouTube. Jose, my G, I still have the stacks of the original Meltzer newsletters from 98 to 2002 that were printed on his regular sheets from his home printer. I swear. Love it.
Joseph Austin saying I was a guy hogging the pay-per-view tapes. Those were handed around. Those were handed around during my high
we would
school
swap
days.
them. We would swap them every Monday after a big pay-per-view. We would swap them at high school. That was a big thing back then.
Now he's saying that it's your fault that there was no tape behind the case at Blockbuster. Because
okay, all right. It was my fault.
Yeah,
it was my fault there. Yeah. Of course, some people asking us about the big announcement from Tony Khan. No real update on that. They've been holding it close to the chest.
It's not a debut. He's already
not a debut.
That.
We do know it's not a debut, but they're holding that one pretty close to the chest. There
was a situation that I really wanted to talk about before we head out here, guys. And this is a question from Jeffrey Salmon. I actually saw a report from Lucha Libre Online earlier today about this. Kevin, Jose, and Jeremy, Young Bucks were at the WWE headquarters. Confirmed? WWE I don't know. I think they were just trolling, but Lucha Libre Online did go live earlier today, Hugo Savinovich, and he talked about that because he kind of compared it to kind of like when DX invaded WCW back in the day. Bucks are trying to do something similar at the headquarters.
It was for being the elite, and they've done that before. Actually, they did.
Okay.
So
they go and film a bit in the parking lot across the street, so they get the logo in the behind.
Yeah, they did that. They did kind of the same thing that DX did back in the a few years ago when Hangman and Marty Scurll were still kind of they're all in the Bullet Club, and they did something similar to that whole thing with DX. So yeah, that was for being the elite. I haven't watched Being the Elite yet, but yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what happens on Wednesday. I've heard some things, and I don't know if they're true or not, but it sounds like it could be insane. What happens?
There's a lot of anticipation built around Wednesday, so I'm definitely looking forward to it and covering it on Wednesday night.
I'm sorry, I got to go back to Jeremy. What do you know?
I don't know anything.
No.
If he knows, he's not going to divulge it. I've already tried to get it out of him over the weekend, and he said no.
Yeah. There's two parts to it. One part is about maybe likely. The other part is 50-50.
Have you ever seen a cop show, Jose? One of us has to be good cop, bad cop. You're good cop, I'm bad cop. This was the plan. We had a plan.
I'm like Switzerland, bro. I stay neutral. Victor Nash, Facebook. Jose, Kevin, Jeremy, predictions on tonight's U.S. title match. Who wins, Priest or Balor?
Let's get crazy and have Finn Balor win it. Let's get crazy and have Finn Balor win the title.
But I think Finn Balor is going to win that tonight. I think it's time.
I think it'll probably set up Damian against the Beast, not the Beast.
Damian,
the Beast, yeah.
Damian,
yeah.
He's just Damian. He's not Priest anymore.
He's just Damian.
Like people know the difference, right?
The crazy Priest.
Guys, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate you. Thank you for the love and the support. Remember, guys, we engage with the show. Show us the love, the thumbs up. We see that 74 of you have already done that. We still got 127 of you in here, so make sure you are sounding off in the comments, engaging with the show, showing us the thumb emojis, the heart emojis, the laugh emojis, the angry emojis. It doesn't matter. Engage with the show, because the more you engage, the more people get to watch the show. So we really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are well on our way to 27,000 already, guys. So thank you so much for getting us there. We're well on our way there. Make sure you hit your notification bell so that way you don't miss whenever we drop brand new stuff. Tonight, we got Legion of Raw. We got Vince Russo and Dr. Chris Featherstone on deck. They're going to be reviewing tonight's Monday Night Raw. And Friday nights, you got Dirty Dutch Mantel with Smack Talk. With Cochino, SP3, they dive into SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Wednesday nights, myself, Enrico El Glorioso with the debrief. And every single afternoon here at the 6:30 hour, we have the top story covering the top headlines in the world of wrestling. Give us a follow on all of our social media at Kev Kellam, at Jose G Official, and at JB Huskers. Follow our Sportskeeda TikTok channel. We just opened that, so make sure you guys get on over there and get your challenges in, and tag SK Wrestling. I'll be up on there too, so make sure you guys do that. So we want to thank you so much. Thank you for the support. We love every single one of you. And remember, when you're watching wrestling, you got to do the most important thing, which is what, gentlemen?
Enjoy wrestling.
Yeah.
What was that? Can you talk to them?
Okay.
Shut up.
Watch out.